Bob. We're here with a little bit of news and notes. This is going to be kind of like a news edition of your Grappling with Podcast, as well as I'm going to bitch and moan about some stuff. So that's what you're all here for, I'm sure. So I'm just going to get right into it. We're going news and notes. What's going on in the jiu-jitsu world, okay? Well, number one, Craig Jones honey-dicked us. He did an Instagram post. He's got ADCC gear all up and down his body, saying he's going to be on the Ariel Helwani show. He's got some crazy news to tell us. Oh my gosh, it's a big announcement. I set up the live thing. I was working and I had the screen up and everything. He comes on. He doesn't say nothing. He doesn't announce anything. Craig, or Ariel, was like, hey, you said you were going to announce something. What was good with it? He says, well, you know, you got to kind of keep the buzz going. Okay, you don't get too many shots at that, because at some point, like, we already know he's a troll. But if he starts doing that kind of stuff, I think he's going to lose a little bit of that fan favor. Just throwing it out there. But with that, I have on good authority that there has been a replacement for old Mo Jassim already selected. I cannot say who. I don't know who. I should say that. But I have an idea. And deep people that are in the deep waters of jiu-jitsu might know who it is, or when they hear the name, they'll be like, oh. I personally think, I'm going to give it a week and then I'll say who I think. But I wouldn't mind you guys saying, who do you think has taken over? Because they already picked. Now, once again, this is only for the championship. Mo still runs all the opens and stuff. So this is just for the championship. Who do you guys think has taken over? It's not going to be Craig, so save your tootsies on that one. But a hint to my guess is they are a authentic Brazilian. That's all I got. That's all I'm going to say. Let me know what you think in the comments. Also, some news. Our boy Wiltse's back. He has cut his hair. He has broke up with his girlfriend publicly 3 times and got back with her and told everyone to schedule seminars with her. And then the next day he'll say that she's stealing his money. And then the next day they're in the bed together and talking about doing threesomes. So, you know, pretty normal little week going on here for the Wiltse household. Also, if you're a Republican, you're a piece of shit. If you vote for Trump, you are evil. And all Democrats are morally superior. This is Andrew's latest rant. So we've kind of gone the full spectrum of everyone in jiu-jitsu is retarded and dumb, and he hates you. He doesn't need money, but he wants you to PayPal him money for gas. Black holes are pretty easy to understand. He's got a higher IQ than Einstein. And he's now on political rants. So, sounds like a good Thanksgiving dinner to me. Also, some jiu-jitsu news. We got AIGA. Pretty fun event to watch. Visually stimulating. They got big stages. The camera work is great. The commentary, it's Hal Teague and Jake Watson. So, some people don't like Hal. But it was some pretty good action. It's like a team event. Checkmat won, and 10th Planet got second, so they get a bid to the next round. But there was some pretty good action. It's all no-gi. Checkmat had Francisco Lowe just ripping people's arms off. It was pretty fun to watch. And the 10th Planet team had some pretty good wins as well. The Who's Number One card is actually coming together. And I'm going to say it. I'm going to watch it, of course. You pay your yearly subscription. You ain't got nothing else to do. I'm going to watch the damn thing. But I'm not super stoked yet. Right now, Adele Fornarino is, like, in my opinion, the best match on the card. I wouldn't even say best match. She's just, in my opinion, the most entertaining. Maybe that's not even the right way to put it. But she's fun to watch. She's going against Alex Wynn from Mr. Ecological, best coach in the world. Greg Saunders, right? Greg Saunders? Yeah, I think so. So anyways, that's one match. Then they also got Pedro Mourinho versus Isaac Michel. That's a pretty fun match, actually. Pretty entertaining. The match I just do not care about is Felipe Pena against Moody, Declan Moody. Am I alone on this? I don't care to watch Felipe Pena anymore. I find him to be maybe the most boring guy in jiu-jitsu. And I don't know if it's because we've seen him go against Gordon so many times and those matches are just super boring. Or if it's just a style thing because he does this. I get it. I'm a 41-year-old hobbyist black belt talking shit about pro athlete. It is what it is. I had some Doritos today. I might eat some granola with chocolate chips in them. I don't know. I got snacks for days. What? What do you know about these? Huh? What is that? Hatch chili pretzels. Huh? You don't know me. Anyways, I get it. I'm a fat freaking slob talking about a pro athlete, but damn, dude is boring. His stand-up is not good. At a minimum, it's not entertaining. So I'm not a huge fan of pretty much him against anybody at this point. But I'm sure he's a very nice guy. I'd probably go to a seminar. With that, we also have the most confusing match ever made, and this is, I believe, the headline, which is Kaynan Duarte, super stud, top of the world right now. Potentially historic run at ADCC recently. He gets, and he's also the heaviest weight, right? Biggest division. He draws a middleweight. Okay. Maybe a heavyweight, or what's that, middle heavy? A guy that's like 190 pounds, 200 pounds, in Roberto Jimenez. We all love Roberto. The dude's an absolute killer. The guy can win against big guys. We've seen it. Someone pointed out that he beat Nicky Rod 4 years ago and has lost to Nicky Rod twice since then. But he's a dog, I get it. But that's a confusing matchup. How many people were bitching about Gordon fighting guys smaller than him, and then now Kaynan's doing that? People bitched about Gordon fighting Roberto Jimenez. Oh, he's so much bigger than him. It's like a stupid matchup. This is dumb, in my opinion. Even though I'll watch it, it'll be entertaining, I'm sure, unless Kaynan just puts on the smush. But with Roberto, almost every match is fun. So that's coming up. That's going to be December 4th. I believe those are the only matches announced. So they're going to be announcing probably another 4 or so matches on that. December 4th, Flow Grappling. Pay your $300 for the year just to watch that. But when you do, you also get something called The Crown, which is the IBJJF tournament that's invite only, big purses, I think 40 grand per division winner, I believe. So it's a goodie, and this is really shaping out to be a fun tournament. They have 4 male divisions, 2 female divisions. I'm going to go over the male divisions today. Next episode, I will do the female divisions. So what we have, November 17th, The Crown by IBJJF. The lightweights have Kennedy Maciel, Diego Pato, Barreto. Some of you might not know Barreto. I believe he got second at Worlds or third in the last 1 or 2 Worlds. Really, really good. Fun to watch. We have Jameel Hill-Taylor, stud, coming back from, I think, maybe an injury or just some time off. So that's going to be fun to watch. And then Cachino, our local guy from Aries down here in Arizona. And then there's a couple other guys that I'm sure are very tough, but they don't quite have the name value. But that right there is a phenomenal tournament. Middleweight. Once again, all these have the returning champions from the last Crown. So middleweight, you have Tainan Dalpra, returning champion. Murasaki, you gotta have him. Mauricio Oliveira, always a tough match. Hibamar, which he's kind of like a curveball in there. You wouldn't really think like, thought he was kind of past his days. He just won Master Worlds. Dude's a stud, plays lapel guard, so he might be able to do some things that are a little different, maybe sneak up on someone. Elijah Dorsey, the guy can beat anybody in the world, has a couple odd losses after having really big wins, so he can absolutely take this. He has the ability, I should say. Jaime Canuto, a little bit of a dark horse, I'd say. He's won Master Worlds in dominant fashion. Hasn't quite had the success at the adult level, so that'll be interesting to see how he does in this. And then I saved this name for last, which is Francisco Lowe. I just talked about him at AIGA, armbar in the world. Some of you might remember at Worlds this last year, Tynan got DQ'd in the first or second round against Francisco Lowe for going for a kind of a K-guard style entry where he drops the K-guard, he grabs the heel, starts peeling it open, and Francisco basically got shot like John F. Kennedy. It was absolutely gnarly. The man went full soccer player freak out, like his leg was completely ripped out of its socket, and then fought the next round. Although it looked like he might have been hurt, it was a little interesting, to say the least. A lot of people feel like he kind of milked that injury to get the DQ, which he did, and then Tynan was out. And a lot of people pointed out that he actually does the same entry. The bugaboo is, from a technicality standpoint, it is illegal. It's a legit call. Should it be illegal? In my opinion, absolutely not. I think adult black belt competitors should pretty much be able to do anything. I don't care if you want to nibble on an earlobe. Should be allowed. Wet willies, allowed. Oil checks, only in my division. Grabbing the tongue, sure. Got to risk your fingers though. Also, shout out to the guy that got wrist locked and then did a body kick and then got pushed over like a child in a grocery cart. That was amazing. I don't know if you guys saw that. So that's going to be awesome. Middleweight. Then on to the heavyweights. We have Gustavo Batista. Typically not very fun to watch, but extremely good, extremely effective tactician. And then you have Warzinski, fan favorite. Orlando Montero, always a tough out. That guy has the ability to beat anybody. Zucci Ryder Zucci, I can't remember. Big boy, super athletic, very fun to watch. Interesting new name, Mateus Rodriguez. If you remember him, he's the AOJ guy that he was coming up with Tynan. He was one of the, through the colored belts. Him and Tynan were just killing everybody, man. Through purple, blue, purple, brown. And then Mateus, I don't know if he took a step back or maybe he had a delay in his progress or something. Maybe injury, I'm not sure, but it kind of seemed like he went off the radar, and then in the last year or so, he's kind of come back on the competition scene, and it's been cool to see because the guy's a killer. So I feel like he's a little undersized. Maybe he's put on a little bit of that acai, but I'm excited to see him in the mix with those big boys. And then, yeah, in my opinion, this is the dark horse, Spirandelli. The guy, I believe, won Brazilian. He won Brasileiros. So I think he's actually one to watch. He might be someone that can knock out a couple names that you wouldn't think. And then there's a couple more guys that are a little bit lesser known. Then you get the ultras, the ultra heavyweights. Eric Muniz, reigning champion. Dude's an absolute killer, super hard to deal with. Pretty much only Victor Hugo has been able to beat him of recent. Gutenberg Pereira, a new AOJ heavyweight. That should be pretty interesting because sometimes when he comes out, he's like the last guy to pass Marigali's guard, which is pretty cool. Pedro Machado, another super tough out. Scooby, dude's an athlete, man. Scooby is super good. Roosevelt Souza, I mean, that guy can beat anybody. Recent second place winner at ADCC, I believe it was second place, is Felipe Costa. Second or third, I cannot remember. Felipe Costa from Six Blades. He is very good, and he has just started to really come into his own. And then you have the European Keitel. Dude's a giant. He's a mammoth of a man, and he is quite good. So he might sneak up on someone, because we always kind of forget about the Euros besides Wrzynski. Other than that, that's all the news I got in the IBJ, or not IBJJF, but in the jiu-jitsu world. So I'm going to go on to just being a little biatch and start ranting a little bit. And first, I had a little chat with someone about the try-hard. The try-hard is necessary. We need you in the gym, okay? We need you. I want you in the gym. And I'm not talking about the wrestler. I could see that getting conflated here, where I'm talking about a wrestlers where they just grind and go and rah, rah, rah. Not talking about that. I'm specifically talking about your 2-stripe and under white belt that is gorilla gripping on everything, gassing out because they're trying so damn hard, and you tell them to chill. Chill that bitch out. Chill out, bitch. Pulp Fiction. That guy. You gotta chill. You are the most annoying role in the room. Besides the luller. The guy, hey man, you mind if we go light? And then he like throws on a triangle, like his life depended on it. You and him are battling for like Mao and Hitler. You see what I'm saying? You guys are basically the same. You know, you go into HE double hockey sticks, for sure. So can you chill out, please? And if you don't know if you're him, you're him. How about that? If you think you're, am I him? Yes, you probably are. Chill out. Okay, now I'm going to get a little controversial. Not really. I mean, not for me. I mean, for me, this is actually, I would say, pretty tame. But I find, and this is actually what stoked this thought, was Andrew Wiltse was going on one of his rants, because he'll mix in like whatever he's talking about politically or whatever, and then he'll throw some like jiu-jitsu stuff, and then he'll go back. He was mentioning how, in his opinion, how to get better in jiu-jitsu is to find minute things and hyper focus on those. And that doesn't have to do with sparring. He's talking about specifically situational sparring and drilling. And I tend to agree. I think if you want to get better in a rapid fashion, that's the key here, in a quick, timely manner, you should put more effort into your drilling and situational sparring than just doing rounds. You should even go as far as, if you want to get better quickly, take a round that is supposed to be sparring and tell your partner, hey, let's start from here. I want to do work here, and get reps there. As soon as that position breaks or you go into something else, stop, go right back. Now I get it, sparring is the funnest part, absolutely. But if you want to get better quickly, drilling and then situationals, okay? Hyper focus on the minutia, okay? Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people who disagree with this, and sparring and rounds and rounds and rounds. I just disagree. Partly because I know what worked for me, which I know won't work for everybody. Some people, they're going to feel like sparring more gets them better. And I'm not saying sparring a lot doesn't get you better. You absolutely will get better with sparring. But if you want to have increases in a shorter time period, I absolutely think drilling. Let me know if you disagree, if you think I'm an absolute retard, capital R, hard R, or if you agree. Have you noticed in your own journey that when you started to really like drill down on something, that you actually had a large jump in skill, or the opposite? You kind of chilled on the drilling and just started using sparring as you're drilling. So you're like, okay, you know, I'm going to really work on this in every sparring round, but I'm going to do more sparring rounds. And then you saw an increase. Let me know if that happened too. I would love to know. This is scientific, so don't be a butthole. Another thing with that is having fun. I just spit everywhere. Having fun while learning. In my opinion, this is absolutely crucial. I was talking to someone at the gym, and they said that they saw some studies about this. Now, I'll ask the old doc on the next episode about this, which we're also going to get controversial about something. I'm thinking he's going to get a little spicy about it. We'll see. I'll bring that up in a second. But I'll ask him about this. Having fun promotes better learning. What do I mean? You have your old school football coach, right? The old school, move you maggot piece of shit. You know, he's just grinding your D in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? Kicking your sack all over the place. I think there is a time and place for that kind of coaching. Absolutely. I'm not a complete Seattleite where I'm like, no, you need to treat me with respect. Okay? Talk to me like one of your French women. I don't know where I was going with that. But what I'm saying is, if you're enjoying yourself, you're going to be in the moment more than if you're worried that your coach sees you fucking around or telling a joke or talking or something like that. Now, you want to be focused. You got to be in the moment, even though you're having a good time and all that kind of stuff. You can't just be a total, like, as my old coach would say, he's my current coach as well. Andrew is a daisy picker. You can't just be a daisy picker. Shout out to Bailey. You have to be able to be in the moment, right? And drill intentionally in that time, okay? But have a good time. Enjoy yourself. You will absolutely learn better. Learn better. Better learn. More better. Yeah, that nailed it. Tell me what you guys think of that. Do you think that's stupid? Do you think, like, no, dude, you just got to get in there and grind, bro. Embrace the grind, okay? Because maybe that's the way. My last little bugaboo here. Well, actually, first, let me tell you about the thing we're going to bring up next episode. I don't know if you guys have seen the controversy on LMNT, the stuff that we push all the time and think is like the cat's pajamas, is the LMNT little packets of sodium, magnesium, and potassium. They in some hot water right now because they've been lying about allegedly what's in their mix. Supposedly, allegedly, they have the ingredients and then they have their special blend, which they were not exactly accurate with how much melanoxin, I think it's called. It's a form of sugar, I believe. But there is a lot more. They're saying there's 4 milligrams and there's like 400. Anyways, we're going to see how that materializes. We're going to talk about that, see what Chris says. Hopefully he can dig into that a little bit and see if there's any substance to that. If you guys are weary about that, I like to use Ballast, Ballast. You can get on Amazon. It's cheaper than Element. Similar quantities of all the electrolytes and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens with that next week. On top of that, what is with the jiu-jitsu community and the neglect of grip fighting? Please put in the comments. Please don't neglect this. Don't just shoo this away. Do you guys practice grip fighting in your gym? Now, I mean from the stand-up, but I also mean on the ground. I mean on the ground as well. Okay, where maybe you're playing sit-up guard, someone's standing passing, or even passing on their knees or whatever. Do you guys hyper-focus on grip fighting, especially in the stand-up is really what I'm kind of leaning towards, but you can do it in both scenarios. From my experience going around to a lot of different gyms, It is maybe the most neglected thing, more than stand-up. Stand-up is neglected in the jiu-jitsu world, absolutely. But grip fighting, which happens before the stand-up exchange, like you have to grip fight to do the stand-up exchange, is neglected even more. And I've said neglected probably 15 times in the last 30 seconds. Now, why is that? I want to know, did I just happen to fall into a crack where not many gyms do it? Because I find it is one of the more important pieces. Allow me to digest. Any match starts with that. You can set the tone with grip fighting. Have you guys ever gone and sparred with a guy that just breaks your grips constantly when he's passing? So you're trying to get cross collar grips, you're trying to get collar sleeve, you're trying to get spider, and they don't do anything but break your grips the whole time? It has got to be one of the more frustrating things there is, especially when you teach like your little youngling white belt over here, and you're like, if you break grips, you'll be the hardest role for upper belts. Don't even try passing, just negate grips. And then they do it for 2 rounds and then they forget about it. But those 2 rounds, you could tell they're a menace, right? Well, why don't we just keep doing that? Why don't we teach it? I like to warm up classes with grip fighting drills. And I like to show at least one grip break, a tactical grip break, or at least a setup so you can get dominant grips, okay? And this was before I even was doing judo. I was a brown belt when I had started instituting that kind of stuff. I wasn't even a black belt in jiu-jitsu yet, so you're talking a few years ago. And ever since I started doing more judo, it became even more evident. And then once I started doing more judo, and then I started learning under Nick, Coach Nick at Washington Judo Academy, it became even more evident because I was starting to learn a certain grip structure. So more of like a back grip than traditional collar lapel grips. So to get to that back grip, you have to address and fend off attacks. And then you have to be tenacious about getting into that grip structure, which takes a lot of tactics, especially if you're going against someone that actually knows grip fighting. So it became pretty evident that, like, damn, we are behind on the whole grip fighting thing. So I do wonder if you guys practice that. And if you don't, I recommend you actually start. You start watching. If you don't have a coach or you don't have a teammate that is good at grip fighting or has some experience in that world, watch some YouTube videos. Type in grip fighting techniques or something like that. How to break grips. And then start practicing that on your own. You know, once again, going back to the wizard himself, Andrew Wiltse, he would practice for hours his grip breaks, you know, and he would burn out his brother's fingers and stuff like that. I'm not saying you gotta do that. Goodness gracious. But put some time into it, you know what I'm saying? I think it go really far for people, especially in the stand-up. You're gonna dictate the match from the get-go. You get good grips on someone, right out the gate, they're starting to be like, oh, shiza, I might want a guard pull. You might not even have a single throw in the bag. You literally might suck at stand-up. You might not have a single uchimata or a swing single, or you don't got no takedowns. But if you just have good grip structure and a good stance, you scare people. You put fear in the beehole. Their beehole starts quivering. You want to make a guy's beehole quiver? Get good at grip fighting, you know? Also, shout out to the couple of people that recognize Counter-Strike 1.5. I don't know how to point at this. Right there. That's how Olivia and I met. Counter-Strike tournaments about 20 years ago. Best version, 1.5, right? I could see 1.3 because you could bunny hop like literally the whole map, which I mean you can in 1.5, but you can get the real good ones in 1.3. But it's pre-Steam, so it was way better. I'm not saying Steam ruined everything, but come on, if you know, you know. With that, guys, short episode, banged it out, went through just this, that, and the other thing. I gotta go teach some jiu-jitsu. So holla at your boy, send in any questions you got. We're gonna talk about that element. We're gonna talk about whatever else I said. I'm gonna bring up to Chris, I already forgot. We'll see you next time. grapplingwithpodcast@gmail.com or just DM us.